Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Live Coding and Chill. I hope you've been having great weeks. We're midway through Wednesday hump day and all that. My week's been fun, my week's been alright. What have you been working on? What are you doing today? Let me know in the chat, that always makes me happy. Today we're back to continuing with our Patreon-like service, Patreon page-like service. We'll be offering subscriptions in this page, because who needs Patreon when you can make your own with SvelteKit and Supabase and Stripe and all the good stuff we've been working on. So the idea is at some point you'll be able to just click here and go through the flow and buy, which we have done in previous episodes. This has been a success. Now we're cleaning up a few things. One of the things I do want to clean up is the authorization flow. Now we're doing client-side auth, which is fast and easy to set up. So we went with that to move forward. Now I want to switch to a backend flow, server-side flow with the PKCE, which is a private key exchange for code, really. So may look like a weird acronym you haven't seen before, I hadn't seen before, but actually, like, I've done exchanges like that before. We've done that many times. So nowadays, in this day and age, in 2023, with Supabase and the auth helpers and all that, it's not gonna be that big a deal. We're gonna make it happen. So, anything else we want to go over? Well, we're building a membership service, membership enabled service. We've had maybe 5 episodes dedicated to SvelteKit with this membership service, taking inspiration from another episode we did where we made that happen with Next.js. There are some opinions on that Next.js project that we've stuck with so far that I am gonna change either today at the end if we've managed to change the flow here regarding how they manage the Stripe webhooks, but it got us somewhere for sure. Today we'll be switching to make the server-side flow happen. Why do we do that? Usually server-side flows are more secure. This is a big rabbit hole that I don't want to spend like 20 minutes half explaining. I probably need to make a video where I've done my research, I've done my script, and I can actually give you the details quite fast. But there are a few attacks and a few like attack vectors, I guess, that you can do when you're doing client-side flow that have to do about your using sessions, keeping keeping the user logged in while their session should be expired or something has happened. It's a bit better to do it server-side. Also, doing it server-side makes you cooler. Like if you are a SvelteKit or Next.js React or Svelte person, there is a chance that the backend engineers will be looking at you and saying, front-end guy or front-end girl. And if you do server-side auth, then your credibility goes up for sure, because it is harder and because it feels like you may know the reasons why you'd rather do a server-side flow. So I guess without further ado, let's switch to the desktop view and make it happen. Let's get down to business. So as always, the Supabase docs are quite helpful with this. They have quite a few examples with Next.js and SvelteKit, but not like 100% walkthrough guides. We'll need to show some of our initiative and independently solutionize here. A lot of the things we've done in a very early episode, because it is going to be the same as the client-side flow. So in our SvelteKit project, we do have a hook that sets up the backend Supabase client, for example. And here, interesting, we may need to generate a few more types here. Is it going to be happy if we do this? Maybe not. It should be the same file. Lib generated database definitions, lib generated database definitions. I guess it's kind of imported from a different place, but it should be the same. Interesting. Before these live streams, I do upgrade the dependencies and everything. Looks kind of alright, but I did miss this. Anyway, this feels like a classic TypeScript only error, a bit of a red herring, but we'll see. It could be that I just need to generate the types again, but we will be doing that later. In any case, we are creating the Supabase server client in this hooks server.ts. We are creating this helper method to get the session more easily wherever we need it in other hooks, in other server-side middleware type modules. And that's about it for this file. Then on our layout, this is where we're scaffolding the whole auth thing. Really, we are making the session available on the backend like this by using the get session helper method. And we also have a client-side load method, which uses the session from the backend load method if that exists. So it gets it from the data here, the server session, and creates a client-friendly session for us. And then on the layout, we do quite a lot of weird things for dark mode, page transitions, sliding, all of that. But also we subscribe to the authentication state. So if the user does get logged out or logged in, something's getting validated or refreshed. That's essentially what we're doing. But the logic we'll be changing today should only be regarding this page. So we have this login page, which has a few ways to log in. And the first one we'll change will be the email and password login. I have found a bug here as well, where I can input my email here. Clearly, it's not a designer who designed this, it was me. I've never seen something like this before, but it kind of makes sense. So you can put in your email and then log in with magic link, and that works just fine. You can press the enter key here and it will submit and give you a magic link. But if you put in your password, you're supposed to click this button and then you log in with email and password. But if I press the enter key while I'm in this field, it's gonna submit using the first button it sees, essentially this form. So it is going to actually log me in with a magic link and not with email and password. So that's a bug, that's not expected behavior. And we'll fix that later, but for now, we want to make this happen on the backend. So front end, we've proven, still works. Great, I'm logged in. Maybe as a bonus, we'll be able to change our display name or a display name or something like that. And we did make the integration with the customer portal in a previous episode. In theory. Something happening? Yes, no? Who knows? I've also switched to ban, but I don't think this is going to be affecting anything else. It's trying to do something. In any case, that's not the thing that we want to be changing. What we want to do is the backend PKCE flow. So we saw that we have the hook already. Nothing changes when it comes to the hook. But now we want to create a new endpoint, and they suggest auth confirm as the URL. And in that one, I suppose when they get the email to confirm their email or the magic link, if they choose magic link, we're going to get a magic link email, or when they set the password, we're going to get them back to here, or when they sign up, and then we'll need to get something from the URL this time. So before it was the Supabase client that was handling all of this. They were redirected back to this page where they were, the login page. So they got redirected back here, or they did all the work here. They didn't leave this page. And then the Supabase client just got the data back from your Supabase server and logged the person in. But now we'll need to get them to a different place. So let's do that. Let's create this auth confirm. have an API, but that's not related to the API. Yeah, I do think auth confirm feels like a correct path for this. So let's create a source routes auth confirm server.ts, and in there it seems what we want. Let's switch this over. It's this file. I like that the Supabase people prefer fat arrows like I do. The SvelteKit team seems to prefer functions, old school functions, which fair enough. So get handler, when we get a get request to auth confirm, what is it going to do? It's going to get the Supabase client from the locals, which we set up with the hook that we saw before. It's going to get the URL from the event. So let me just inline this here. And then from the sales params, it's going to get a token has, and then the type, and then where to redirect to next, I guess. And it, by default, if it doesn't have anything, it's going to redirect to the homepage. I don't like how they're doing like this typecasting here. So what I usually do, if we can look at a different file, is we do bail out if something is missing. But where do we do this in this project? It feels like we will be doing it somewhere. Everything's client-side here, so nothing will happen. Maybe the profile page. Do you have any other just server files? Maybe not. Maybe not the related server files. Anyway, we'll have to make it up as we go. So let's just do if token has, if type of token has, and maybe that's something to check type of. There you go. Not gonna save much, but I guess I'm doing it client side now. So if the token has, it's not a string, or the type, it's not a string, or the next, it's not a string, then I guess we want to throw an error. Do we throw an error anywhere else? Should be you. There are 400 as well, but I guess on this one we do this in an action, which is kind of different. Let's look at the SvelteKit docs. Maybe they do have a helper for several methods that should return 400. 400? It's not. That feels kind of correct. I imagine that this error helper returns an HTTP error. All right, that's what we want. So throw error from SvelteKit. And parameters given, seems clear enough. But here it's saying if we have a token has send type, I don't do this. They're directing there. Interesting. Auth code error. Right, so they say nothing more of this page, but they're suggesting that we have an error page here, I guess. Is it just this? I guess it should be this. Do they use the email OTP type anywhere else? Great is email OTP. OTP params, type is this. Why is it the mobile one-time password type? Oh, it's one of those. I guess the verified token has. The email OTP type, which is this. All right. We don't have a handy method, unfortunately, for this. We'll have to repeat this, I suppose. And type is this. So we are going to create an array which is going to have all of these guys, like two sources of truth. Unfortunately, maybe Supabase can provide something for us here, like a nice little array with all the OTP types instead of us writing them here. Let's get all the pipes, turn them into commas, and say includes. So we have this type card here. So we need to be on top and make this array match to whatever the Supabase library has, which is bad. You want one source of truth. But hey. All right, so now TypeScript will know and our server will know that this is one of the available types, so we can pass it into this method. And then if there is no error, then we redirect them to where they want to go next. And I wonder why they add this, only to add it again and then slice it, but who knows? There must be something. They must be doing it for a reason. Or else, what they do is they do redirect here with the auth code error, but we're not going to create this page. We'll just do the same thing here. Don't say something went wrong validating your credentials. Sorry, bud. All right, so we have this get handler. How do we use it? When do we send people there? I guess we need to change all our email templates. And for that, we need to go to the Supabase dashboard. Let's unify project. Oh, looks like I need to do something. I think it's this one. And is it gonna be in auth email templates? Looks like the answer is yes. They're saying don't use the built-in email service in production. Which yeah, I'm pretty sure most people are doing, but it's good enough for now. And good enough for now is the reason why most people must be doing it like this. All right, so we need to add the token has here and say type email, I suppose. So the sign up template, let's focus, let's do it. Confirm your mail. We want the URL with the site URL, have the token has, which we're going to examine, and also say that the type is email, which is the OTP time, one-time password type. Personalize this bit. Use the token has. Looks good. One template down. Right, so if you're invited to a user, then we need to create a page for updating passwords, but that's something for the future. Password resets we haven't enabled yet, which is unfortunate. Set URL, auth confirm that the page we're doing, type, but the next path, what is it going to be? We can change it later, but let's call it new password. Just to remember that we need to implement this at some point. All right, so if someone does happen to somehow go through this flow, auth, new password, maybe change password. Makes no sense. Page text for Excel consistency. Here. Yeah. Okay. So just to increase the chances that we remember this, we remember to update this. But the URL is going to be change password. Alright, that one is done. I guess next one is going to be match link. Link. Why is this an H2? I guess they always do H2. Is the subject supposed to be the H1? Maybe. Right. So change email. They haven't changed this. I wonder if this is a bug. And we don't provide this functionality anyway. But yeah, surely this is a problem. Because with just a confirmation URL, that's not gonna work. Or maybe it is, because you don't go back to the site. So we changed nothing here, sure. Maybe that's, again, that gets you somewhere on the Supabase side for your project on a Supabase server. So it doesn't need to change. Maybe not. But here, to reset your password, gonna get them to the same page. As the update password. Secretly, they are the same thing. So auth, change password. Cool. All right, so we change the templates. That should be fine. Question is this actually working? So if I log in with this, then we're gonna handle submit and do the sign in with email bit, which is a front-end thing, and then gets us to the profile page. But I don't think that's what we want to do. So here, even though it's server side, I guess the client is available to the server, that's what they mean. But I don't want to sign in like this. Yeah, I want to do it on the backend. So that should be fine. So that's the point where I mentioned that the docs are good, but you need to also show some initiative to put them together. So I think now our login page needs to be doing something like this. It needs to be exporting an actions object and use SvelteKit from actions. Signout is not going to be here. Sign in is going to be here. But this is going to be with email. Let's say email. Let us see. They're all login methods. So get the form data, get the email and password. This. Not typecast this. And return this. Import this from the SvelteKit helpers. On SvelteKit. I'm not gonna give anything else back. That's their methods. Return this fail. But if we do have those things, we sign in with email and password. There is an error. Then I guess it's checking to see an auth API error. And then it's saying that your credentials are wrong. And gives you your email back or not. It's not an auth API error. And then redirect to the profile page. Okay, looking good. How do we do SvelteKit form actions? We've been doing this for years. They keep changing it, but they haven't changed it for a while, so we should be able to do it well. So here, instead of doing the onSubmit prevent default, we actually want to do a form action. So let's refresh our memories by looking at the docs. We want a named action like this. It's going to be like this. So this form method, it's going to be post action. It's going to be, yes, just email. Trying to see where the slash is. So question mark email, And then we do nothing in here. It's kind of nice. And everything magically works because the input of email and the input of password, both of these are there. There is a button. And maybe that's it. Is it like an enhance? Aggressive enhancement for us. I always kind of chuckle with those dogs are action-packed. Joke, I like it. Love cheesy jokes. So let's just use enhance and see what happens. All right, so let's look at the network requests here, where my face is. Use our super secure password. Looks like it worked. So looks like we go over to our Supabase server, our Supabase API, our own Supabase API. This is our project ID. Then we get back to localhost and get some data. Then we go to the profile page, and that's it, I guess. Sweet. So that worked. Let's make the logout functionality work server side as well, since we're here. I guess we're gonna do a similar thing. Before that, what did we remove? I think the sign up with email, like all of this. That's a decent reason to do it server side. But your client side code has less rubbish in it, more UI, less JavaScript, always good. And I think this is a bit easier to understand. Not super neat. There's gonna be some logic reuse for sure. Anyway, what were we saying? We were saying that the profile page has a link to logout. But sign out is not actually a form. It's just a button that you click and then you sign out client side. But we probably want to do a similar thing. We want it to be a form. It's a method. Sign out method. I think it should be like this. And it has this button, which is going to automatically be a submit button. And we can use enhance. Sorry, that's the action name. The method is going to be post, of course. And we have this button, and I don't know, the one thing I don't like with SvelteKit projects is how prettier like formats them with like dangling carrés, but it's in a way that I've never seen before. I don't make a big deal with whether the carrés are dangling or the other arrows are dangling in any other case, but with Svelte, like it's not nice. What's this? This will never have other properties. Why are you doing this to me? Anyway, for this to work, we need a sign out action. And we have a create customer portal session, which is decent. My dog is going crazy here. That was me though. It's the time for her walk, my puppy's walk. So she's understandably getting a bit frustrated. No. It was quiet. All right, we're back. So we want a form action for sign out. Let's create it here. It's probably not going to be using anything other than the Supabase client from the locals. And what it's going to be doing is this. I'll throw a redirect. Get you back to the home page. Sync method. And that should work if I manage to spell things the same. Let's call it sign out. Cool. So I'm in this page, I press logout, I should find myself in the home page. What was I doing before? We had this client-side method that gets you to the home page, which is the same thing. We're not going to be doing it now. Are we using the data anywhere else then? Yeah, we are. Okay. But we're not using goto. Let's code. Let's ask on the client side. All good. So press this. Interesting. Sign out is not defined. Oh, this one. Let's delete this. Of course. This method we don't need anymore. So we press this. Good. We're logged out. Perfect. Server side, login and logout accomplished, but only with the email and password. But that's a couple of texts. We talked about what we're doing today. We switched over the email and password. Bonus. Server side sign out. So now let's make the magic link login work. Which I guess it's going to be very similar. I imagine that this has a sign in with. Is it one-time password? Maybe. Let's see, we're doing it client side, so it's probably going to be here. Where do you use this sign in with email? Here? Let me see. Sign in with magic link. Yeah, it's sign in with one-time password. So I guess we're gonna call this client side. Let's have a very similar method. Copy too much. So maybe we'll be able to refactor this at some point and reuse a lot of this logic. So let's create a magic form action. Ever gonna be able to make this work? I did copy enough. Magic. So we still get the Supabase from this, we still get the form data, but we only want an email. If there is no email, then we say there is a missing email. And then we're gonna sign in with one-time password. Just giving in the email. And I guess we do the same like error handling here. Do you return the fail or do you throw the fail? You return the fail, right? Need your email for email login. All right, so all of this is the same. Most of this is the same. It's not gonna work yet. We need to go to the UI. But now, this form we do want to have a method of post. We want the action to be magic, and we want to use enhance. The GitHub compiler was trying to tell me. It actually seems a different thing, maybe. Maybe all of this was a lie. So this is going to be the magic link login. It's not going to have a password. Let's close this form here and have another form. This form will also need to have an email. It's going to be a hidden input. All of these things we're going to steal. And we need a hidden input here. Like this email. I guess we could have them be visible twice. I think we need to bind the value here as part of the tutorial. Don't want this. Just want password, and all of this we're doing. So we want to reuse the email in the two forms. So even for the magic email, we want the value to the email. All right, so let's double check. Does this still work? Looking with email and password. Seems like it worked. Log out. once more, pressing the enter key, which didn't used to work before, because it would send me a magic link email. It works, right? Bug fixed. Logout. Question number 2, did we make the login with magic link thing work? Let's look at the network requests. Yeah, we were looking at the network before, and we didn't actually hit this form action, so it was all lines. But it seems like it's working now. But it's not giving us any information. It's not telling us, oh, we've done this. So that's something we need to fix. However, let's see if I open like a new window kind of quickly and go to my Gmail. I did get a magic link for Droneify, and I'm clicking it, and it's going to localhost. It's going to droneify.com because localhost is not enabled, I guess. But if I manually switch all of this to localhost, so let's see, localhost, and the localhost port is 5173. All right, so magic link, you'll have to trust me, it did work. It's just that it doesn't manually, the email doesn't get me to the local host because I've not allowed listed localhost, because I don't want people to use the magic links when developing on a localhost. It would only get me to the droneify.com domain or the Versal deploy previews, so we can try that over there later. So these two seem to work, but they give us no feedback anymore, which is not great. Let's see what happens if, of course, I'm logged in, logged out, log in. So if I do this email and do like with wrong password, the response is failure. And it's saying we had a problem logging you in, which is only because my password was incorrect, interestingly enough. Interestingly enough. Because they were saying something about the auth API error. I was supposed to get this, right? So I was supposed to get that we have invalid credentials. So why am I not getting that? We are importing this correctly. We should be getting to this page. Let's console log the error. Try again. We're getting 500 again. This is an auth error. It's an auth API error, invalid looking credentials. But it's not quite in it. Let's see. If I try this error, what do we get? We're getting the same thing. Why? Oh, is the status different? Let's try again. The status is 400. I don't get it. It's even the number 400. So what's the problem there? What's the problem there? Okay, I'm not gonna take MDN 2 months. I'm gonna debug all of this. But this should be true, right? I am gonna try it one more time. Still a 500, and what do we get? We do get false, which yes makes sense, but how come it's not? Should we be bringing it from somewhere else? It is bringing it from here. Oh well, let's check their status for now. So now we do get a 400 masquerade and a 200 for reasons, I'm sure. And not hidden. Thankfully it's not my real password. So yeah. We do get the 400 back. We need to work with it. So let's have a look at the progressive enhancement section. So let's do it. In this method, we're gonna have a Fataro method. So we're gonna result a sync, and we're gonna run update, which is promise. Maybe we can console log the result. So let's see what happens when we try it now. The answer is nothing. Makes no sense. Definition of insanity, trying again, but I guess if we just try once, it's fine. So we never make it here. Interesting. Why not? Calling cancel will prevent submission, but we don't do that. We do submit. So we should be getting to this, surely. And it is the email form. Is it a different email form? Probably. We have too many now. So this is the magic link. This is the other one. Okay. Also messing with the sign form. So let's try again. We should get a console log this time. Yeah, we get failure. Great. We get invalid credentials. Great. So we do actually want to change the from state. Hopefully I'm in the correct form. So form state, it's not idle. It's submitting, I guess. And then we make it here. Result type. Let's say if it's success, then done state. Do we have a done state even? I guess so. So let's do that. I guess it's gonna be like a redirect when we are successful. So maybe do nothing. And maybe if the result type is failure or result type error. There gonna be like an error object. Error. Can we magically type the result? That'd be cool. Yeah, like type. Oh, do we need to deserialize? What's this? This is an action result object. How do we type it? Who knows? This must be deserialized, right? Looks like it. This. What's gonna happen if I do it like this? It thinks it's an object. But why? How would we ever type the result? That's my question. Can we do action result? Guess not. I hope that you can bring this in as an action result, like from types. Some classic SvelteKit magic. And again, we were talking about how we kept the client side with less JavaScript, but now it's full of stuff. Maybe it's a string, and then we use it, or else we go to that, and then it's happy. Cool. And I assume the server is down, then we're gonna get all of these messages. Great. Creating a new account. How would that work? I guess this is here. And we'd actually want a different action. Sign up. Imagine. and we don't know what we'll actually do here, but we'll have a sign up action. It's going to be very similar to the email action, I'm sure. No uppercase in here for some reason, but hey, we want email and password, great. But we want this to be sign up with email and password. Do we have anything here? Maybe redirecting to somewhere interesting. So let's remember to do this, but we'll need to create an auth callback page soon. Interesting. Yeah, it looks like that's the one we want. Interesting how this action just returns this. Is that how you're supposed to do it? I'm not sure. We'll find out. So we do the sign up, but there is an options, email redirect to, URL origin, auth callback. We'll need to create that. Let's get the URL. But what is it saying? If there is an error, that it can only be a server error. Interesting. Surely not, because maybe there is already a user with that email. That is going to be a different error, I'm sure. And then it's just going to return this secure email for a magic link. We only do that for the magic link, but in theory we should be having it for the sign up as well. Interestingly. We'll figure it out. So handles and bit, we never do it anymore. Get it out of the way. We have debugged how to sign in, to log in with email and password. How do we sign up? That's my question now. And we should be in this form after we click here to create a new account. Have an email and password. And it should go to the sign up method, but things should be happening instead of using hands. Saying yes, I'm gonna be similar. So we make our form state submitting. There is failure. Let's use the email here. So maybe the confirmation email becomes this. Maybe. So if it's failure, the form state becomes this error. Great. Else we do update. But I do think the form state becomes done. I think. Now, I try to create like a new account and sign up. Internal error. No action with name sign up because I didn't save this. Why didn't I save this? Oh, there is a sign up redirected here, I guess. Let's be consistent with the casing. Sign up, sign up. So server side, we return a message. Then, if it's a 400 with the kinda just failed. Invalid credentials, that doesn't make sense. Maybe error message. There will never be a case where this just succeeds. But isn't there like a JSON helper? You ever return? I guess you do. So the Supabase helper wants me to return a message again. Sure. Yes, I can just return the email. All right, create a new account. Nothing to write home about. What happened? Let's play it again. Oh, I guess I got a magic link login. Let's check it out. I think that's a setting in Supabase where they try to log in. But no, if they try to create an account that they already have, they get a magic link login, I guess. I got nothing. I got nothing, fam. So how did we make it that far? This should have errored out. Right? Create a new account, email that exists, a different password, sign up. Saying we've had success and there is an error, but is that like for obfuscation purposes? Maybe there is something on the Supabase about the sign up method. Maybe it's as if I just click this. Should the flow type be PKCE for all of them? I think so. But in the docs, they don't mention anything like that. Is the PKCE something that we should be setting elsewhere? Maybe when creating the client, I think so. My question is, do I need to create the Supabase client in a different way to enable PKCE flows? The answer is yes. Interesting. Because here they don't say anything about creating a client with PKCE, so maybe that's something to change. But let's go to our hooks file again. No, did they miss the thing? Auth flow type. Is it just making this up? setting the options. It's claiming it's here, but I guess it's not. Flow type. Flow type. Options. Flow type. No. Auth. No. Where is it? Is it for the other client? This client? No. Is it just something we need for the auth client? Where is this used? I guess it's asked on the auth client. Maybe you don't need it. If they don't have it in the docs, maybe I shouldn't assume that they forgot something. Maybe it's asked works. Because in quite a few places they create the client and they don't say anything about enabling this flow. So maybe trust them. Anyway, why are we doing all of this? We're doing all of this because they should be getting an error, but it's not. We're here doing like work. And say no errors. Here. Select the answers now. Going looking again here, there must be like somewhere. Options, auth. I don't know. So there's client options without auth. that's very important. But how come? How do you do it with auth? Is it this? It's without auth. Don't understand. Anyway, my problem is that when I'm trying to create a new account, like this should be giving me an error, right? That's clear enough. Maybe they don't do that, so you won't be able to find out which emails have users or not. But even if that's the case, like the backend should know. I should know. Oh, what's up? Don't do anything here. I haven't been taking breaks, so my focus is dropping for sure. So there is an error, sure. And we get the email back, and we want to say check your email, even though there's nothing to check. Let me double check this. Looks like there's nothing indeed. Like someone is trying to log in with your email. Shouldn't you know about it? Probably. We're getting the email and password. Looks fine. We're saying call here. This should result in an email to your account. If it's a new account, maybe that's the thing. And maybe you should be able to see that we're sending an email to you. Oh, can you actually submit? Guess the answer is yes. Should be required. All right. But yeah, should still be able to get automatically. Need it, click here, all good. So now going through this flow, I should get a message saying check your email. And then I should actually have an email here. Yep. Just got one. Looks correct. But once that flow is done, the magic flow, we want to do some stuff, which is going to be similar to the sign up stuff. So form state is going to be submitting. If the result is failure, we can say that confirmation email is email. Or else, maybe we can say confirmation email is result.email. Result type is success. Not happy. This is string, then do this, no need to check again. But mainly we want to say from state is done. And let's double check our magic link, our magic section. We are saying throw a redirect, which shouldn't happen. We're not redirecting immediately. We should be returning the email that we got. And that's it. All right, so let's try again with the magic link. Interesting. Quite interesting. Yeah, so we got a 500, but not this 500. Let's try it again. We got both of those. We got a failure. We had a problem logging you in. Got here. Just return the email here. Ah, roll email. I returned the email. I think that was the problem. All right. And I guess the second error was that it took us a while. That we retried quite quickly, and there must have like a throttling mechanism for this. Cool. So it looks like that kind of worked. But if confirmation email, so let's do a double check here. If form state is not submitted, and there is a confirmation email, and do this. Let's try again. Oh. What was the problem? Let's see if it's done when we do this. Result type success. What was the result type? It was success. So the form state should be done. It should be here. And then update everything. Triple equals this time. All right. So that should be mostly fine. We had a problem again, try again. But I think that the problem this time is that we already sent you an email. I think that's the problem. When do we do a 500? Yeah, email rate limit exceeded. Great. We've sent too many emails. Fair enough. Apostrophe character. At some point we should do an episode of how to actually use an email service for this and not the Supabase stuff. All right. So this works. Password flow still works. Email and password flow works, whether you mess it up or not. Creating a new account is a bit problematic because I'm trying to create like a new account with an existing account and it gives me nothing. What should it be giving me? It should be giving me at least secure email. Yeah. So we're on the sign up flow. Everything goes correctly. we don't go here. And here, this is going to be similar to the email and to the monthly link. So we're not using anymore, none of these. Sign up, and maybe we want something very similar. Have an email, make that be the email. Looks right to me. But if that's the case, it should be sending me a message to check my email. It sounds fine by me. Let's try it again, create a new account, this. Ooh. Interesting. So maybe it was not working or all along, this is what we needed. Great, so if I do like gmagripis plus test at gmail.com and guess it wasn't working all along. But what's the problem? It's not a 400, it's a 500. It's the same problem. Send too many emails. If it's a new account, it does have this problem, I guess. Alright, but it should be fine. How do I set it up to be PKCE? I don't know. We'll find out one day. But maybe because the email is like this, it just works with code flow. Anyway, I am gonna say that this kinda works, but it is only gonna work if we have this auth callback method, which we need to do anyway to make login with GitHub work. So let's make that happen. So to make email with GitHub work, GitHub is one of the auth provider methods. You can do Google as well. You can do Apple. You can do tons of auth providers. We've went with GitHub for now. Everything else looks like it's the same, but what we need is to create this callback server endpoint, which is similar to how we started, where we create like an auth confirm that was looking for some things on the URL parameters, like next and all this stuff. So it should be kind of similar to this, but it's going to be looking for a code. And it looks like we're not passing in anything to say that it should be a code flow, PKC flow, instead of what we were doing before. Oh well. So maybe let's copy our confirm directory, have a callback directory, and in there, what do we want to do? We want to get code and next. Code and next. There is no code into this, and we don't have the email type. Anything. And then we want to do this exchange code for session trick. And that should be it. That should be what we need. But now we're gonna need to figure out where to redirect us to. So again, on our login page, we have a sign-in with GitHub method, which we want. What do we want? Have the provider GitHub here. Should we just give it a redirect to? And that's it. This method supports PKCE flow. Great. Who knows how? But we need to give it a URL, I suppose. We need to give it a URL. So we do need to pass some options. Can we do all of this on the backend as well? Not sure. What's in the sign-in response? Even though we're doing most of the things server side, I think for this one we should go client side, because we just get redirected back here and there. Auth response. What's the URL here? I guess that's where we redirect to. But how do we get this URL? That's my question. Do we have the current URL? And do we have the root URL somewhere? We must have. Let's go through client, is kind of weird. Is there any chance that we enable the PKC flow somewhere here? See, we don't enable localhost here, but I guess they would say that on the docs only. Guess not. Enable custom SMTP, that's an episode we'll do in the future for sure. Let me know if you have suggestions for future episodes as well. Anyway, that was an aside. Question is, how do we get the root URL? Here. I think in our login page, we do have the URL here. We have the origin. And I think we don't need this last. So let's get us here. We'll see. On the UI, let's just surrender the data here. Data callback URL. Yeah, looks like we did need this last. I just did it though, I've already forgotten. Yeah, cool. So we can pass this callback URL to the options. Direct to callback URL. Data callback URL. Sweet, so login with GitHub. Should get us somewhere. Did you do it? What did they do, if anything? Oh, of course, it gets us to the real site, unfortunately. Because I guess GitHub doesn't accept localhost. Let's have a look. Must be a section for like apps, something like that. Settings, applications. Nope. I am thinking this is gonna work, so let's see if we can kinda get around this. And let's have a quick look. We'll need to see where it is. So Supabase, working with provider, auth, GitHub, click here, tells you go there, developer settings, here, GitHub apps, or auth apps, we have this, and the callback URL is this. Okay, so it's not something to change here. I guess it's something to change here in the Supabase dashboard. So if I actually have a quick look at the console logs, wrongly, then we can actually commit this. And push it to a branch and see what happens. let's publish this branch, have Vercel do its magic. And because I've allow listed that environment, I should be able to complete the GitHub flow if we did everything correctly. Thankfully, we didn't get in the queue. The Vercel deployment queue, view deployment, login sign up, login with GitHub. It gets us back to johnify.com. I wonder why. It should be getting us up to like this. Disappointing. Let's look at the Supabase dashboard again. I think we were just looking at this. Is it here? So it should look like this, which should be fine, right? How similar does it look? Like temagribis.vercel.app. It looks correct. It has like more dashes, but it should be fine. And it's temagribis.vercel.app. It's HTTPS. It's all good. But our gas. I'm trying to figure out further direct. Redirect URLs. Here we go. So do we want this? I guess we want more stars. The answer is maybe. So let's try it again. Yeah, that was it. So we're logged in with GitHub. Amazing. Cool. Let's try it again. So now this is the deployed app. Login with GitHub. Does get me there, logged in. Awesome. Guess the problem is that I had explicitly said that I want on any deploy preview domain with this star, but not anywhere in the app. So we should be doing the same with this. And we probably don't need like both instances. So let's double check this. Logout still works. Login with GitHub. Click. Yeah, still works. But we don't get it to the profile page, interestingly enough. Let's focus on this, what's happening there. We click this. we end up on code equals something, so we don't end on the callback page. Interesting. We don't actually end up here, and the front-end client hijacks, I guess, the code and then does some magic. So we're not actually doing the PKCE stuff. But bye. So it's not respecting the auth callback. Are we passing it to the correct place? Yeah, it's inside options and redirect to. Not respected. Interesting. Let's switch this to make it happen client side, server side, sorry. So this could be a form. On click does the submit. And have a hidden input. The provider, the value always being GitHub. And we want to copy all of these things, maybe. When they hit the provider action, we're gonna write soon. From say it's gonna be submitting, confirmation email, we're not gonna do that. See. Well, success. And from states that's done, I guess. Cool. So now let's go to our, again, server actions. And if the action is provider, then what are we gonna do? Maybe it's gonna be similar to this stuff. But how do we know what the redirect is? Maybe we shouldn't be doing this. Oh well. Provider, don't have a provider. do this, but if we do, then maybe we want to try to do the sign in auth. And pass it these options. You're out here actually. And we can delete this, but what do we get back? Wait a second, this, I think we have something that has like data. URL. And we can do a similar thing. Do we want to check for anything? Probably not. Yeah, it says returns. Else we want to redirect. So that should be fine. Let's click here. We do get to GitHub. Great. Usually high amount of requests, sir. And again, we go to like /code. Why do we go to /code? I get why we're not going to the callback page. I don't get why we're going to this one. We're hitting this with provider GitHub, great. And then we go to Supabase, I guess, and we redirect there. And it's saying redirect to all of this. Is it like, it looks like it's escaped. Like the code challenge method and all of that. Looks correct. But then this gets us here. It eventually gets us to this one, the access the code. Maybe it's because we're not doing the localhost thing, so let's quickly try one last thing before we log off. Enable localhost just for a little bit. I think it worked. Good. We did log in, which is great, but did we log in with the new method we created? That's my question. Probably not, because we don't get to the profile page now that I think about it. It does say grant type here, PKCE, which is good. Must mean something. Yeah, it doesn't go to the auth callback. Even though we do ask for this. Of course, this never gets used anymore. So we're doing it backend style. Get here, we pass it direct to. We do everything. But this just gets us to main page. We are supposed to go to the callback page, this one, and then get the code and get the next, I guess. But we don't even have like the next. I don't get it. So this should be getting us to the /auth callback. No such thing. Created this file. If there is a code, we exchange the code for the session, but we never get there. For the sign up, we have the email redirect to, sure. Maybe we should be using this. We are great, so that should work. But the provider there doesn't have the provider here. It has it here. Yeah, we're passing this, but it just ain't doing it. Unsure. But anyway, because we do have the client stuff, our GitHub flow does work, which is nice. And what happens if I remove this? Let's just double check. Still works. Good. GitHub is enabled. I don't think I can do like anything else here. The email templates, we've added like the token and all of that. Yeah, I'm not sure how to change this. I'm not sure why it's not redirecting me to the callback URL. And that's gonna be it for the episode. We did the magical login. We did the GitHub login, although it's not completely server-side. But it's kind of server-side. Let's push it up there. And our UI files are a bit cleaner now. Like not a lot cleaner, to be honest. A bit cleaner. Turns out we don't need this. Yeah, we do have this craziness like on every form with the enhance action, which is not ideal, but we can probably refactor a lot of it into the one method to reuse. We've added the GitHub flow, so it'll be easier to change this to have like a Google flow or Apple flow next. And again, our problem, well, all of that flow is using server-side logic, but in the end we get redirected back to the homepage, and then the Supabase client, front-end client, picks up the code and logs us in, which we don't want to do. I'll try to debug this, maybe reach out with a few lovely Supabase people, to a few lovely Supabase people. Other workflows should be quick change. If it is something that's not respected by Supabase, then no code change won't be needed from our side, which is always nice, but we'll see. All right, can feel my doggy coming. I am gonna push this. I'm gonna wait for the send just in case there is something said, or else I'm gonna see you on Friday. Here, come here. Not feeling like getting picked up, I guess. It happens. She's very playful, like me, in general. But this is gonna be it for today. I will see you again on Friday. We'll be doing more work. Maybe we'll do like some more user stuff, or if I get to the bottom of this, we're gonna figure it out. But almost as likely, we're gonna move on to doing more Stripe webhook stuff, which is like the juice of the real stuff we want. Make sure to check my videos in the meantime. I am working on the next one as we speak, related to ban. You've been liking the ban live stream, so I figured I should create my quick takeaway so you don't have to go through like an hour and a half of live stream and just go to the meat, the juice. But that's about it from me. Have a lovely rest of